Good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday, June 17th, 2025. My name is Don Swanker, and I'm going to call the Jackson County Board of Supervisors to order. To my left, I have Mike Steinis. To my right, I have Nan Flegel, Bjorn from IT, Lisa from the auditors, Luann in the back, executive assistant. We have Brittany from the press, and first up this morning is Jaden from County Engineer's office.
Good morning. Good morning. We got quite a full agenda here. First thing is we received a extension request on a fiscal year 23 RCTP award for the city of Sibylla. I recommended that an official from the city be here to maybe further elaborate or explain why the extension is being requested. I haven't received any feedback on that, and nobody's here, but I've asked via email prior to that what the extension was for, and the only response I've really gotten is that they've just been waiting for their contractor to perform the work. But why is that being held up? I guess I don't have the answers to that.
Okay, have they had extensions before?
We have given extensions before.
On June 18th
Okay.
of last year, you approved a 1-year extension until June 30th of 2025. And the amount is $20,000.
Or,
The RCTP,
I don't
you
even,
don't know who it was for.
the city of Sibylla.
Oh, Sibylla.
I don't even recall what the words were. I don't know if it was sidewalk. I don't recall what it was even, what the scope of work
Did
was.
we not talk, though, that we were not going to be doing extensions anymore on that?
Well, I know we talked about it because I think Preston also asked for an extension. There was a couple of them that came through and they're like,
Yeah.
you know, we can't just.
Like granted them, and then I thought we talked.
There was
about
one
not
that was
doing-
like the final extension, and I don't know which community or city that was.
So if there's a hardship case for some reason, I guess we should probably consider, otherwise. What happens to the RCTP? Does it go back into and reallocate that? I mean, honestly, if you've asked for an explanation of why, then who the contractor, if they have already picked their contractor or have a contract with them, you know, then it should be done, or their time frame is null and void also.
Yeah, cause I mean, again, the only response I've gotten was just that they've been waiting for the contractor. That doesn't really tell me a whole lot, I guess. Just,
Do we have to do a year? Are you recommending a year or?
Is this have a time specification to it too for your extension request? Does it have to be done today?
well, no, I guess, because at this point, even if they submit a claim for request for reimbursement, I should say, it's gonna be in fiscal year 26 anyway, I guess. Cause they have not submitted a reimbursement request at all yet, to my knowledge, so.
Your extension from a year ago says that it's until June 30th of 2025.
Was this for the same year, same project, same?
This is for fiscal.
So they've
23.
already been given a year extension on the same, I thought this was another application.
No, this is another extension request for one that was already previously
Mhm.
granted.
This would be the second extension.
I'd say tough luck. I mean, if we can't get an explanation of why we're waiting on a contractor, that's not a viable answer to me.
Well, I would say, I think we have 1 week left in this year. We have one more meeting. Do we give them 1 week to give us justification on why? Otherwise, we say no.
I
That was
could,
the first thought process,
I
but
can-
what I heard, we already give a
We've
year.
already given them a year. That's where I struggle a little bit. We've already given you a year. You should have had it planned out for the year before. We've given you a year extra. And now you want, I mean, how reliable is this contractor if he can't get the work done in 2 years to begin with?
Yeah, so the next question also is, where does that funding is in? That come out of general?
Mhm.
Okay,
Is this the money?
so it doesn't have to be
that-
allocated anywhere to the
what's
fact.
that?
Is
Since
this
they
the money
quit
they don't pay
reimbursement.
back? No,
We had,
we used to up at ECIA.
Right.
Is this the money that normally the government would
The
pay us back,
subsidy.
but we're carrying?
Mhm. And again, I did recommend that an official, whether it was the clerk or public works, but some official from the city to be here just to further elaborate. I don't know, in my opinion, that's maybe just, if they're asking for the extension, I don't always like to just be the relay the message, like,
Did you indicate to them that they already were giving an extension on this same project? And have they applied?
I did, but they should already know that, 'cause they requested it, but, or they were the ones that initiated the request before, so.
I guess I would like to see us hold a meet and I'll contact them or say, you guys got, there has to be something, because what I don't want to see happen is Seville, maybe they have a signed contract or whatever at some point. I don't want to see them hung out with a $20,000 bill they can't pay for
Mhm.
just because we said we ain't gonna, so I'd like to hear back. If we don't hear anything by next Tuesday, or if they don't tell me anything, then, but
I guess that's generous because our protocol says it's gotta be done in that time frame. We give you extension and that's now up again.
Yeah, cause I don't know what is the contractor not being responsive, or is there a legitimate reason why he
Yeah,
can't
right,
perform the work?
right.
Like, is it
Yeah.
due to unforeseen issue? I don't know. I didn't get any.
If the
What,
hardship
what's
is
the holdup between the
Mhm.
contractor and the work being done?
I would make some motion to table it
till next week.
till next week.
Okay.
Yeah, back on the agenda.
I would second that.
Got a motion by Mike, second by Nan to table till next week. To get further explanation, any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
So next
Can I
one is,
just send me that information and I'll contact them.
Okay.
Next
next up is a fiscal year 26 RCTP funding agreement. So this is your new agreement that you maybe were thinking of. This is for the city of Miles. So this is already from like last week when the recommendations from ECIA and that was approved. This is a funding agreement for the city of Miles for their project. Been signed by the mayor and the clerk, so.
And all of them that we awarded, they all have to have this funding agreement, is that correct?
Correct, yep,
So they're on the ball, is that what you're telling me?
they are on the ball. So our department recommends approval.
I'll make a motion to approve the City of Miles agreement.
I would second.
Got a motion by Nan, second by Mike to approve the FY 26 RCTP funding agreement with the city of Miles. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Motion carries.
Next up is a utility permit for Matt Junk. It is an electrical service off of Mill Creek Road in Bellevue Township of Section 13. So the applicant is gonna build a new home and needs electrical service, and the electrical pole or the overhead pole is located within the right of way. Not very far, but it is within the right of way, so to run the secondary service or the private service from the pole to his house, there's a few feet that would actually be in the right of way and which
The city limits is real close there, that's in county though, right?
correct, it's in the county, yep.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I would second.
Got a motion by Nan, second by Mike to approve the right-of-way utility permit for Matt Junk in Bellevue Township, Section 13, Mill Creek Road for the electrical service. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
And next up is an entrance permit for Matt Junka and Vadim Boyko, that is the home builder. For a residential entrance on Mill Creek Road in the Bellevue Township of Section 13. So this one is actually gonna be it will be a shared driveway. They're proposing to have their entrance tie into the applicant's in-laws or his wife's parents' driveway. So it's not a new entrance at all, but in order to issue the 911 address requires this. So site distance is all good. Doesn't require culverts. It's not tying into our road. So our department recommends approval on this.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion by Mike, second by Nan to approve the residential entrance permit for Matt Junk and Vadim Boyko, Bellevue Township, Section 13, Mill Creek Road. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next is our HSIP funding agreement from the DOT. This is for our Bernard Road PCC overlay for next year.
That's to give it the little wider shoulders and the rumble strips and all that kind of stuff, the
Correct.
safety things.
Basically, same exact items we did for our Z34 over that we got awarded. Same thing here, only it'll be the concrete paved shoulders, still be rumble strips, the wider pavement markings. With this being concrete, we don't need the V ram, which is exclusively for asphalt, like we did in the center line. So, but same deal. We applied for it in last November. We're notified, oh gosh, maybe a couple months ago, that we are awarded. So this is just the funding agreement to follow up on that. Funding agreement for those items is up to $300,000. So our department recommends approval because we actually have check plans due for this project due July 1st to the DOT. So we've been working away at that.
Make a motion to approve.
I would second.
All right, got a motion by Nin, second by Mike to approve the HSIP funding agreement for the Bernard Road Y31 PCC overlay. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next up is our discussion on fuel, our fiscal year 26 fuel and LP bids. So every year we go out for bids for fuel, diesel and gas, and also LP for our tanks, the outlying sheds for heat for the winter. We received, let's just start with fuel bids. We received.
You didn't give us a sheet on them.
I did, yes.
I didn't see one in mine either, Jade. I know I talked to you this morning
Let me-
about it.
Let me go print it off. Let me go print it.
Present the,
It's just sitting right here. I'll grab it.
it was in his packet. He emailed it out.
I didn't see it. Should look like
How
this.
many you got?
There was 2 bids, for
How many of
fuel.
them sheets you got?
Oh, I can make copies real quick.
It wasn't in our packet though, right, Luann?
And Jane emailed it out with his notes and stuff. And I see in the notes that Mr. Bueller's clerk information is in there, so I'll get with Lynn and Doctor.
See, I thought I included it all with my whole notes and everything, but we received 2 bids for fuel, one from Mulgrew, which is the low, and one from River Valley, which is the not low. And what they're bidding on is basically their profit. So for the fuel, we get the weekly price from the rack distributor or wherever that's at. We get the weekly emails on all that. So what they're bidding on is purely like their profit for the fuel supply.
Right.
It's above the market price, basically. So if the market price changes, it still reflects about, this is their cost above the market.
Yeah. So from that bid, or from those results, it's been relayed to me from others in our department that there was just some concerns with Mulgrew based on past experiences. And obviously, I was not here at that time to witness that or experience it, and I couldn't find any documentation. I believe what they're telling me, but there's just been concerns relayed to me from back in 2010. But with that being said, that's been 15 years ago.
Change in that
Yeah.
time frame.
So, and we do now require as part of the proposal, we send out fuel, just like we do construction projects, a performance bond. So where they submit to us a performance bond, and if there's issues for whatever reason, like whether they can't get us fuel or it's the wrong type, what have you, we can pull that performance bond and whatever dollar amount is needed to remedy that issue for us to either get fuel or get the right fuel. So we do have those measures in place.
So both bidders submitted a performance bond?
We only require the awarding bidder.
So then they will
submit. Yep.
submit that. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So, again, you got X amount of, different types here listed and, some are here, some are there, whatever they may be. There's a minimum amount of difference, but, it's hard to justify.
So, yeah, and I guess we should go with the low bid, and since we have the performance bond, measures or practice requirement in place that just protects us for reasons that.
And I don't recall the issues that we were having, and I don't know if I was even here then either, but the point is, yeah, I'm not interested in. I don't know why there would be issues, I'm not interested in pumping or. You know.
Yeah, and if
Pumping.
there is, we just, for a performance bond, we make note of it
Yeah.
and we.
So is that the percentage of the bid, the performance bond amount?
I'd have to go back through the documents here. I believe it was, we pull the amount needed to remedy the issue, so that could vary depending on, say, we can't get you fuel this week and we need our tank filled, depending what the price of fuel, like, we'll go get it filled, and it's just dependent on the cost to remedy the issue.
So the other two contacts here, they did not bid on any of it.
Correct.
Is it normal? I see, the low bidder for the gas and the diesel winter blend and additives. But then when you go down to LP, they're the high bidder. Is it okay to split it up like that, or you just taking a little bit?
Well, the LP is different than the fuel.
Okay,
So fuel, what you see there is the fuel, and that is separate than the LP. So we always award to gas and diesel that bid to whoever to that winning contractor, and then the LP is a
Is
separate
separate,
one.
okay.
Yeah.
So I guess, you know, just. It makes sense, like you said, I guess, to take the low bid, if it is minimal, I guess, but you know, you wanna deal with a local individual in Jackson County also, so it's a tough call for
And
minimal.
And,
a
you know,
lot of time and personnel change in 15 years.
it does, and if there are issues, I guess we'll just document, make note of it, and maybe there won't be, maybe I just been relayed caution or concerns have been relayed to me, and I just wanted to at least make you aware.
Again, I guess I don't wanna hold a 15-year your
Grudge.
grudge on, you
Yep.
could have had management changes and driver changes and,
Yeah,
On both sides.
yeah.
You know?
yeah, not just there, here.
I mean-
So the only other issue I would see is that, you know, one company, of course, is local, and one company probably is not so much. So I mean, hopefully in a timely manner, we would be supplied.
Mhm.
With that, I would make a motion to accept the low bid from McGrew Oil for the gas and diesel as presented.
I would second that.
We got a motion by Mike, second by Nin to approve the low bid of gas and diesel from McGrew as presented. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And then next is the LP
Yeah, the LP.
bids, which we received one from AgVantage FS and one from Mulgrew. And this one, AgVantage, was the low, and they are typically our provider more times than not as the low bid. So our department recommends AgVantage, awarding the LP bid to AgVantage.
I would make that motion.
No second.
Got a motion by Nin, second by Mike to award the LP contract for this year to AgVantage for their estimated low bid. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Are you going to have them sign the contract today, or?
Yes, yep, I have those prepared here,
Yeah,
so.
so I'll put in the motion.
All
and
of the
also-
motions
I'll
are for
do it and-
signatures.
Right, and approve
Chair signature.
the contracts, authorize the chair signature on the contract. Okay.
You guys
So
all okay with that? Good?
Yeah.
Okay.
that's all I had.
Any updates for us?
Construction projects. What's that?
Road closed?
No, it's actually back open.
Yeah.
The incoming floor is open as of Friday morning. And
No
So-
issues?
nope, they got it repaired and patched back fast, and it had strength within 2 days, so back to open it up, and the traffic control company will be in to there's a couple pavement markings that gotta get down the edge from the panels that were replaced, so that'll get done, but that'll take a few seconds, but other than that, yes, that project is completed and done, and no more closures foreseen.
Good.
City of Monmouth's Division Street work is wrapping up today, actually, so the asphalt occurred on Friday of last week. Yesterday and today, they're working on the sanitary manholes that are in the middle of the street to bring those up to grade and pour the concrete box outs around them and the water valves. So that's finishing today, and I guess there will be a little bit of seeding work from, there was a culvert that was completely buried towards the Division Street Bridge that we had to dig out for that. It's part of the city's portion of the project, and the restoration work will occur tomorrow, so.
I've heard if they could have kept a stoplight with the Brandon Road, they just right when feel that they're up down.
It's been like a drag strip.
I'd say.
Very nice.
It turned out really nice. I hope, hopefully everybody at the city is, or anybody that uses that road, not only just the city, but hopefully they're
I think that was a lot better decision than the bridge. That's just.
a lot more users, a lot more users affected by this.
Yes.
So that turned out nice. I think that's really it for construction projects. So everything's, I guess we'll have day labor here coming up, but that's typical fall. That's, yeah, if all of our construction has occurred fast this year.
Okay.
So just working on plans submitted in July for next year's projects is what the main push is here now as it relates to our office. Reclaim has been going well. Of course, by Macokota, we've got some rain yesterday. Some areas I heard 0.8 of an inch.
We had 2/3 at our house.
Yeah. So don't know how that's affected with the reclaim schedule this week. But
It's not gonna be too soft.
We didn't get any to help you, so we don't get.
No,
It over there for a good 15 minutes. I mean,
It came quick and was gone.
yeah.
I don't know that we got that much on our place, but.
it was definitely very spotty.
2/3 of an inch.
And yes, Maine and some, I think I relayed that last week, that's been open, and everything's been completed, all the punch list items for that work, so.
Both lines.
Yeah, so construction was fast and furious, and now we're
Uh-huh.
in our breathing room.
Thank you very much. Next up, we have visitors and citizens this morning. Is there anybody in person or online that would like to talk to us? I see we have Lisa online. Any chance you want to talk to us? There's 2 Lisas up there, so. Is either one of the Lisas wanting to address the board? Hearing no reply, we'll move on, but if you guys would like, if you'd like to talk to us, please let us know. Moving on, next, we have Ruth Eldridge with Veterans Affairs. Come on up. Good morning, good morning. Sunny walk over from the Penrose.
I would love to be on this. So we, in May, we had 56 in-person visits from veterans and family members, 81 phone calls. I'm not gonna go through all the forms, but we obviously filed quite a few, last month. We had 17 decisions from the VA made in May, and we currently have 88 open claims for Jackson County, and our office filed 79% of those claims. So that's good. I'm happy with that number. We have 416 veterans and or eligible family members that are receiving $802,239 in April. So that's the April County Award Report. I included the Iowa VA benefits report again, just for if you want to take a look at it, you're welcome to. It's got some interesting information on there. As far as our office updates, so we have 2 of our commissioners their terms were up in June. So I'm going to say this the wrong way, but the Veterans Affairs commissioners voted to send the reappointment recommendation for John Pitlow and Greg Stalker to the Board of Supervisors. Those are our 2 that were up. We did not have any other qualified applicants. So I included the letter for that, sending that reappointment recommendation to the Board of Supervisors.
Good.
We have a couple kind of neat new programs that are going to be happening in our office. So the Iowa Works Veteran Career Planner, Shane Sawyer, I included his information. He is going to be coming, he's starting a pilot program in Jackson County. He feels like we have been sort of neglected in the Veterans Affairs career planning area. So he's going to start coming on July 11th, once a month. He'll be in our office to help veterans with career building skills. So he's going to work on resumes, he's going to work on career planning, he's going to work on, whatever will help the veterans, whether they're underemployed or they are looking for a new job or they're unemployed. His job is to help them, to work with them. The other fun new pilot program that we have, I learned about at spring school. So, and I didn't include it in your packet because it's brand new. The Iowa City VA Voluntary Service Driver Training. So this program will give us a van, an old DAV van or whatever it is, to help transport our veterans to their VA appointments. So Dubuque, Davenport, we might not go to Iowa City yet. It's going to depend. The VA pays for this program pays for the gas, pays for the maintenance of the vehicle, provides the vehicle. It's a donation-based program. So if we have it in the budget to donate to the program, we can. If we don't have it in the budget, we don't have to. We have a need to get our veterans to their appointments. We have a lot of
Drives
veterans.
the way.
So volunteers, they're going to have to be trained. They're going to have to go down to Iowa City. They're going to have to do a training program. I think it's like a day. They have to pass a physical. But all of the insurance, the maintenance, the gas, all of that is done through this program. So the county doesn't have to worry about any of those kind of things, which is nice.
So I guess I'm not really familiar with it. So it, like, a lot of these times, these appointments, are they scheduled around the same time at the different facilities? Like, could 3 of them go at a time or
That's the goal.
work in progress?
Yeah, so like I said, it's brand new. Clinton County does it. They have this program where
Yeah.
they do it as well. So my understanding is that we can try to, schedule those
Well, I'd
appointments.
say it's
together.
coordination between the vets and the offices, whether it be a physician's office or whatever it may be, but.
Yeah.
If we could work something out
Yeah.
with the office in Dubuque to say that maybe Wednesday is the
Mhm.
appointment day
Yeah.
for
Right,
Yeah.
for
Right.
Macokota residents or
Absolutely.
Jackson County residents.
Complete
or-
sense.
yeah, that's my goal. My goal is to have it that way.
So is this training for drivers?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I assume it's an extended van of some kind or anyway, a full-size van.
Mhm.
It's not a CDL, of course, but
No,
it
no.
is it like a miserable training?
I
Well,
don't.
they make these things
No.
much harder than they used to be.
I don't know there's a lot I don't know. Like I said, it's a brand new. I've met with the gentleman who runs it once, and I'm meeting with him again on the 24th to kind of work out these.
Something to do with the military. I'm assuming at least half the training is PowerPoint.
Okay, so the other thing is they don't have to be a veteran to be a driver, is that correct?
No,
So
anyone.
I mean, if an RTA driver wants to volunteer, I'm
Yes.
sure.
Yeah, so anybody that's willing to complete, that's gonna be our biggest hurdle, is finding the volunteer drivers. And I asked the gentleman that runs the program too, I said, what if we can't get it up and running in 6 months? He said, it's fine. He's
You
like,
know, I think that would be a big push on a Just Talk or
Yes.
even a couple times, if you get
Yes.
this out there, I think these veterans help each other and whatnot, other people help
Or
them
another-
also, so.
Another
a
question would be
veteran
if we have 4 or 5 people that want the training, any chance they could come here? Cause it's a lot easier to get one person. here.
Don't
Yeah.
know. I know that he was hoping to coordinate like a day in Iowa City where everybody who wanted to be.
So tell them to bring the van first, then we'll take the van to the training.
There are a lot of details, like I said, that still need to be worked
Yeah.
out, and we want this to be successful.
Sounds like a great idea, yeah.
We hope that it's successful, but it's not gonna be easy, it's
Yeah.
gonna be a lot of work.
Wondering if we could
Question,
tie this in together.
Volunteer be one of the
the enterprise.
people going to
I
the,
don't know, but
I don't know why not, as long as they were trained.
right,
So I can't,
trained and capable,
yes, I
obviously.
can't answer that 100%. My assumption would be yes, as long as they were a trained driver, that they could do that. I do not know. Again, that's another one of those.
Well, we'll find out.
Yeah.
Sounds exciting.
Yes,
It'd
it's
be nice
exciting.
to get it up and
That's a
going.
benefit, and hopefully, yeah, we can get some volunteers, drivers out there and.
I mean, if not, it still, to me, would be a good way to coordinate your appointments.
Mhm.
Somehow
Yes.
for everybody.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that could be in the future, but not either. You know,
Mhm.
if there's three leaving from Bellevue, maybe they all jump in together and go for a
Sure.
morning, you know.
Yeah, I think the potential's there. I hope that we can get it off the ground and that it can be successful and that we have enough,
Sure.
community support to make it successful. That's another big thing too.
Does it float, could it float? Cause I know you talk about Iowa City training, but there's a VA in Dubuque.
Mhm.
There's a bigger VA facility in Davenport,
Mhm.
so I
Mhm.
wonder if they can.
Yeah,
is
that I
Iowa
don't
City
know.
Specific or,
I don't know. I know that it's run out of Iowa City,
Yeah.
so I don't know if that's why that's where it happens. I'm just not sure. But I will have more answers as of the 24th.
Possibility. You could get in Davenport, maybe they go from Davenport to Iowa City, I don't know, you know.
Well, and it's easier to get transportation for a veteran to Iowa City because Iowa City does have vans that they will send to Macokota to pick up a veteran to take to Iowa City. The problem is you have to schedule your appointments at the correct times. They're too early in the morning, they won't come get you because they don't have anybody. But if we can, and they have to be far enough in advance.
Sure.
And that's with any kind
Makes
of
sense.
scheduling. Yeah, yes.
the thing you'll struggle with is the fact they will also pay you, what, 62 cents a mile to drive to your appointment?
Yeah, so that, there's all these things,
There's a
but
lot of people that can't.
Oh, exactly.
Yes.
So, yeah, this is a good program. It'll be
Somebody
interesting to
that can
see.
drive them.
yeah, or aren't comfortable, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's like they might be comfortable driving around town, but not all the way to Dubuque or Davenport.
Right.
That's fairly common too. So yeah, so that's in the works. Well, I'll let you know more about it as I know more about it. And then the June article that I wrote for the newspapers was how to read your rating decision when you get it back. How do you navigate through all those, government words and
17
forms
pages
that
for one paragraph.
yeah, exactly. So a little bit on that and yeah, that's all.
I gotta say is keep up the good work, cause I get nothing but compliments about the stability and the work that you guys are doing over there, so. Good job.
We're working hard and we're happy to be there.
All right.
Thank
you much.
You have a wonderful day.
You too.
All right, next up is Miss Lisa.
Good morning. I need a motion to approve the minutes of the June 10th, 2025 board proceedings as written by Auditor Smith and authorized publication in the official newspaper.
So moved.
I will second.
Got a motion by Mike, second by Nan to approve the minutes of the June 10th, 2025 board proceedings as written by Auditor Smith and authorized publication in the official newspapers. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
I need a motion to approve and authorize the auditor's office to issue warrants in the publication of the claims listing in the amount of $713,195.74.
So moved.
I would second.
Got a motion by Nan, second by Mike to approve and authorize the auditor's office to issue warrants on the publication of the claims listing in the amount of $713,195.74 as presented. Any other discussion? And I do want to just quantify. It's a sizable chunky, especially for this time of year, but we are coming to year's end and there was $65,000 for the state audit. In there was $60,000 towards voting machines, 32,000 or 23,000 towards the radio and cameras and stuff for a squad car. $88,000 was the destination lighting that we do get reimbursed for. Monmouth paving was 56,000. There was 36,000 in gas, 72,000 in rock. Side by side for 22,000. Spruce Creek boat ramp final payment was 27,000 in there. There was some labor negotiations, 12,000 in computers and 49,000 towards air conditioning in the courthouse, which is working phenomenally on the city. So any other
Air bubbles out.
yeah, it is definitely a chiller. So any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
I need a motion to accept and place on file the Veterans Affairs Commission meeting minutes for the May 14th, 2025 meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mike, second by Nan, to accept and place on file the Veterans Affairs Commission meeting minutes as of for the May 14th, 2025 meeting. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
I need a motion to approve the renewal of a Class C retail alcohol license with outdoor service to Bluff Lake at 9301 95th Avenue, Macokota, effective July 18th, 2025 through July 17th, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Nan, second by Mike, to approve the renewal of the Class C retail alcohol license and outdoor service to Bluff Lake at 9301 95th Avenue, Macokota, effective July 18th, 2025 through July 17th, 2026. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Motion carries.
I need a motion to approve resolution 1122 06 17 2025. Certifying delinquent Leisure Lake sewer assessments to the county treasurer for property tax collection effective June 17th, 2025.
So moved.
I would second.
You're very decisive.
Oh, yeah, no.
Motion to approve resolution 1122 06 17 2025, certifying delinquent Leisure Lake sewer assessments to the county treasurer for property tax collection effective 17 June 2025. Any other discussion?
So again, last year, I mean, we do this every year, but
We do it several times.
most of them do get paid.
There's still some delinquent. Yeah,
And I heard that the tax sale went very well.
it did.
Um,
A lot of properties were sold. Of course, mobile homes never sell, but there were a few properties that did not sell, but for the most part, it was a successful day
and I
yesterday.
guess I look at it and I don't, because I can't compare back and forth, but are some of these consistent in being every year
Yeah.
and some are new, I suppose, I don't know.
I would say most of them are people that we've done this before.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
That's all that I have for the board today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you want to talk about that? The thing you emailed out Friday and setting a work session?
Well, we do. This is concerning what the potential is for the 911 board, or I shouldn't say the 911 board, the 911 dispatch. There's a proposal from the city of Macokota to enter into a 28E agreement between the city and the county. I have read through it. I have a significant amount of questions when it comes to that. I did reach out. I do have 3 other counties that I'm reading through their agreements. And nothing really is comparing to what is being proposed by the city. But I do believe that I would prefer not to have a work session next Tuesday if possible. But I think maybe shortly thereafter, the first of July, we should at least sit down and talk about it and see how it affects Jackson County. I do hope to connect with some auditors next week, specifically those 3 that I have agreements with, and kind of ask some general questions. And I will probably make a phone call to the state also on a couple of questions.
Good.
Sure, I think we need to do our due diligence and look it over and, move forward if we can.
Right.
Again, you don't want to be in a position where we left a basket full of goodies.
No, it's, there's a lot of things in there. There's some good faith effort on their side, but there's just questions.
Yeah.
When I went through it, when Josh gave it to me, it was just more, how does this pass audit? When they're dealing with,
I still have some really questions about that.
Yeah,
I
county
don't
money.
understand. There's some language in there that I really do not, somebody needs to really explain it to me about the transferring of the money and holding it and managing it.
Well, that's a big question we always had, with city employees paid by the county or whatever we're doing here. I mean, but the county levy and then.
Yeah.
City employees, so.
So take a look at it, get through it, and
And
then
let's schedule a work session after.
I know I screwed up a little bit with being gone the first week, so.
Okay.
Soon after that, we'll figure it out. We'll go from there. All
Okay,
right, Luann, you're up.
morning.
Good morning. Okay, start with the calendar this morning. Apologize for my voice, it's kind of coming and going today. 4 p.m. this afternoon is a Health and Human Services Town Hall meeting for aging and disability. by Zoom for any of you that want to attend that. At 5 p.m. is Jackson County's Conservation Board meeting. They're meeting at the Spruce Creek Campground, for any of you that want to go to that. Tomorrow, June 18th, from 5 to 7 p.m. is the Art in the Park, for the Macocata Art Experience out here in their parking lot for any of you. And you could add to your calendar at 5:30 p.m. tomorrow is the Historic Preservation Commission meeting, a regular meeting at Clinton Engines for any of you that want to attend that. Thursday, June 19th from 9 to 11:30 a.m. is the 3Cs ISU program at the Together We Build building for any of you that want to go there. And at 6 p.m. that night is Limestone Bluffs RC&D meeting by Zoom for Don. Monday, June 23rd at 1:30 p.m. is a Waste Authority of Jackson County meeting at the transfer station for Mike. At 4 p.m. that afternoon is the Early Childhood Iowa Council meeting. I had executive there too, but it's a council meeting in DeWitt or by Zoom for Nin. And at 7 p.m. that night is the Board of Adjustment meeting downstairs in the community room for any of you. Our next regular meeting will be Tuesday, June 24th at 9 a.m. It will be our last meeting of the fiscal year. So there'll be a few extra things on that we don't ordinarily do, I think, especially on Lisa's part. So for my business today, Ruth touched on a little bit the reappointments to the Veterans Affairs Commission. As she said, they recommended we reappoint John Pitlow and Gregory Stalker. So I'm looking for a motion to do that for terms to expire in June 30th of 2028.
And we do them both in one motion?
Yes.
Yes.
I would move to approve the appointments as presented.
I would second that.
Got a motion by Mike, second by Nan to approve the appointments of, reappointments of John Pitlow and Greg Stalker back to the Veterans Affairs Commission with terms expiring in 6/30 of 28. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Also, in terms of appointments, I'm looking for your permission to advertise the Eastern Iowa Regional Housing Commission vacancies, and to see if you want me to reach out, or somebody wants to reach out to Kathy and see if she wants to be reappointed, the one who's already on there, and see if we can get the vacancy filled that we haven't had filled for a few years.
I would make a motion, yes. Do you need action on that?
I need permission to advertise.
Okay, so I would go ahead and advertise. I think we gotta make an effort. I need to fill it, and I would also contact Kathy and see if she wants to be reappointed.
Okay.
All the above.
And I'll tell her to go ahead and fill out a new application,
Mhm.
like we do with everything else at this point. Also, we only have 2 vacancies coming up in the next quarter, assuming nobody resigns. So I can advertise those
Yep.
at the same time.
Mhm.
Okay.
Cool.
Yep, that's been working very well. I also have discussion, possible action on a fireworks permit for Brant Moore for the 4th of July at his place near Bellevue.
I make a motion to approve.
I would second that.
Got a motion by Mike, second by Nan to approve the fireworks permit for Brant Moore at 39,950 195th Street, Bellevue for July 4th. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Right. Last bit of business is we did receive 2 petitions this week from the Leisure Lake Property Owners Association. And I'm not sure what you would like done with those at this point.
We got those towards the end of the week. I'd like a little bit of time to talk to a few people and kind of try to understand what some of them are coming from, because they're kind of vague in kind of generalized things, so.
So, yeah, I think too that there's other players here. So obviously we need to talk to our secondary roads and our engineer for one petition, and obviously we need to talk to Ira regarding the second petition. They were in charge of the installation and that whole grant process. So, I mean, I know they emphasized some of the costs, and a lot of the costs was grant they didn't pay for. So, I mean, they understand that, and everybody was around when that took place, but there's a lot more information to be gathered here.
Right, I know they were talking about seasonal shut-offs because people go south and all that stuff, but, I don't know if that's a possibility.
Most time it costs more to do that than it does to leave it on, but yeah.
Right, and then you have issues with when you're turning them back on
Yeah.
and
Right, well, and it just, you
And
know,
then-
I know even in the cities and stuff, there's no, there might be reduced to a minimum thing, but there's no, you can't shut it off and not pay, so. Yeah, there's some investigation on that, but, we did get them and we're looking at them. So, thanks.
I'll add.
Thank you.
All right, boards and commissions.
I don't really have anything. I kind of skipped down the end of last week and enjoyed myself a little bit.
Did you make it together with Bill last
I
night?
did go to Together We Build
I
Blood.
was going, but a bunch of people showed up at my house.
One of the things that did get brought up is they're still having a few issues with, sure, the doors,
I saw your they text out, they said you were gonna talk to John, he was gonna
Yes.
talk to. That's exactly what he told me last month after the meeting, and I talked
Right.
to him about it, and he got all, then he,
nobody's heard from him, so
yeah.
again, during the meeting, I sent him a message that these need to be addressed. I got a problem with the door's still leaking. That master key for the one door, the one door is a whole separate key than anything else in the building. That lock door between the rental areas and going to ISU.
I got called down there. I thought that was supposed to be fixed.
The
The repairman was there. like-
He is not comfortable fixing that because he's feeling it's gonna avoid a warranty with the door company. He wants either the door company or John to
Oh,
give the okay to do that because he doesn't want to void any of our warranties, which I respect that part of it, so. They have a freezer repair. I'm not for sure if that's covered under any warranty issue that they have, but
Well, there should be warranty on
I
the
would-
equipment if it.
I would think so, so I messaged that to John also, so I just, and his message back to
Involved
me,
in the purchase of the equipment there?
I believe so.
I
The
would just
big, cause the big freezers, I believe, he's,
So we've been talking about this, of course, with the jail facility also, that before we do our final walkthrough and such, was there ever a final walkthrough done there? And do we still have bonding money in place for
well,
that?
that was kind of, when they were like, well. They were a little upset that John hadn't contacted any of them back and they've been trying to get a hold of them for a little bit of time. That they're like, well, we just need to handle this all ourselves, and I'm like, wait a second, pump the brakes here, we need to make sure we're. Following proper channels if we got bonding issues that we need to be taking
When I
care
talked
of.
to John last month, he
Because-
said,
They don't have the extra money, obviously, to,
when I talked to John last month, he says that about 11 months, he does a final walkthrough to make sure all the warranty, and this was for the jail. He was talking about, so I'm like, okay, we're coming up on that, and Together We Build. When's our final walk through for that? Well, I'm gonna have to get, and he does his talk tough and all that stuff, and nothing. He said he was gonna get a hold of Scott and Dean and get things taken care of, but
So if they can still get kicked down the road, maybe it's a legal issue.
mhm.
I mean, at some point we say, hey, somebody send a letter or somebody say, let's activate our
Bond.
issue or whatever our.
That's the only thing we got
our
left
next-
on Together We Build is a bond,
mhm.
and the time has to be starting getting short on that.
if not choked
Well,
out.
we want to stay in our parameters. That's, so if we need to get the ball rolling, let's get the ball.
Or I guess
rolling.
I'll find out this afternoon if anybody's. Gotten contacted yet.
Okay.
So did John talk to any of you about the final payment to Stronghold?
No, I just see the emails between him and Jeff. You know, that some of them issues were taken care of and Jeff was real impressed with the one guy that was here and he's coming back in 2 weeks and hopefully some of these things get issued. I know John kind of swept the voice thing under whatever interrogation room or the interview room. So we never have trouble with any other places. Well, I don't care about any other place. But he has not contacted me. Your question is if he
No,
talked to him. I have not talked to him.
I have not talked
For
to him
months.
since I called him last month.
So that was 2 weeks ago when he called me. Cause I was in a meeting in Cedar Rapids and I stepped out to take his call and I said,
And the purpose was,
to talk about this last payment.
okay, well, let's talk about other things, and we'll talk about the last payment.
Well, that's what I said. He needed to contact all three of you to,
I'm honestly at the point with the Together We building, I think we need to have Johnson out a letter stating that we need to possibly authorize pulling bonds to get these doors fixed. And according to John, it all falls on Peak Construction. Because they are the general contractor that we hired, for which they subcontracted out to Illinois Glass or Door, whatever, and so he goes, our fight is not with them, it is with Peak Construction, because they are the general contractor. And it's up to them to make it right. So it's about where I'm at.
Whatever our process is, we should probably get legal advice and proceed. I mean, pending your.
he wanted to know if
Yeah.
I paid the $114,000 and I said no. So that's what he was supposed to have gotten with you to,
Well, I assume that's what he's doing with Jeff, as far as the issues that Jeff had a list of and.
All right. Not really much going on, Iowa workforce. I was in there, the business meeting, they're kind of just talking about, the enterprise van thing and stuff like that and some of the contracts, but it was, kind of not much in Wacokota Water Management Authority. They just got a few grants. They're starting to do their sampling and, getting that stuff going. They did have, they canceled the, Wacokota River cleanup from Royertown to Joinerville because they didn't get a lot of participation because mainly it was advertised for a 2-hour float to clean up the river that would take at least 6 hours to float. So, so they're hoping to maybe reschedule
That
that.
in has never floated it
I
before.
was gonna say, and the last hour and a half is, it's rather tough. So, cause it slows down, there's no current there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so everything's going pretty good. So that's all I got.
I did not get to the ports of Eastern Iowa this past meeting. Due to other complications, but 7th Judicial, we had our meeting down there. They have a new district lead gentleman. And he's kind of looking at trying to get out to the different communities to get some good working relationships between the sheriff's offices and all of that, so we should be seeing something come around that way. He questioned on how often we can only meet quarterly. He wondered if we needed to meet quarterly, and it was kind of voiced that if you don't meet quarterly, do you need to even meet? Because
Yeah.
you're really,
Are you really doing what?
yeah.
Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, and that's what we were saying, you know, we went from meeting monthly to this quarterly, and you really feel like you've lost touch doing
Yeah.
that. So if you meet less than that, we're like, then is our services even needed, even though it's required that we have this board, so.
I guess I do want to throw out one other thing, I guess, and this is a coordination between county conservation, there was some state DNR and a local business. Just after the two Wacokota rivers come together, a huge cottonwood tree fell across the entire river and blocked it. And there was a lot of discussion that they actually talked about closing the river for a while. And due to some due diligence and recommendations and determination, they got about a 30-foot gap opened up in the top of the tree. And they're hoping that Mother Nature throws a large rain down the channel and kind of helps it clear its throat. So just, there are some signs out right in that area. Be cautious, be wise, because on the main part of the trunk on the north side, it's about 9 feet deep right there. And the trunk is right at river level. So if you're in a tube and go underneath, there's nothing to.
Wear a helmet.
So there are signs that say, hey, go this way, stay to the right. So make sure that's aware, people are aware of that, but the coordination and the people that did that to kind of help open that back up, that saved the adventure race, or at least that leg of it. And if you're kayaking, it's not that big a deal, but tubers is it's a bit more of an obstacle. So that was nice to get at least a temporary fix in that, because it was a big tree. So that's all I got.
On a little sadder note, I guess, some of us are, all of us are, as a board and as a community, we'd like to pass our support to Aaron George, a supervisor in Clinton County, unexpectedly lost her dad this Saturday.
Wow.
So, yeah, we'd like to pass our support on, so. You know, as a community and ourselves, we support Clinton County and we
Exactly.
appreciate it. So
Work closely with them, so.
Exactly.
with that, I'd make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Got a motion by Mike, second by Nin to adjourn. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion, meetings adjourned. Have a good day, everybody.